Alright, we're back for the Banner Saga. We found our, I don't know, 7th Godstone or something. Let's go. Let's see what this is all about. The Godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Iver shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that, you ask Iver, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Inspect the Godstone. Ingrid's Godstone is carved with ancient runes which don't make much sense to you, though Avin tells you some of the Menders have deciphered them. It's how the Menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing he tells you is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Avin doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. I mean, makes sense if it's the goddess of knowledge. It's full of knowledge that changes. As you're ready to depart, you hear screams from near the main Godstone. Same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Iver, his arm across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop! Alette pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Iver, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness. Something black is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it, just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Iver, you knew! Why? Why didn't you say something? Iver, say something. Iver, this isn't the time. Iver? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder during the Second Great War. We called it raise. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varl and stumbled upon Raze deep in a snowstorm. Alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe, it twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Sunder. When I found my way to Grufheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left. I walked until I ended up in Skoger, where no one knew what I had done. The only sound is the wind blowing through the trees. I mean, I'm sorry, it's either kill them or they will kill you, and that's harsh as it is in war. I mean, war is not a pretty thing. It's not full of morals and rules that you follow that, you know, you only kill these kind of people, but you leave these ones alone. Like, that's not how it works. It's ugly, and it's absolutely horrible. For a long time, nobody says a thing, until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asked. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the small obsidian creature squirming before you. Okay, I'm looking this up. I cannot take this. Alright, I don't know. It doesn't seem to do much, but let's take it with us. Apparently, if you have it with you in the second game, someone has like some vague comment on the fact that, oh, you have a dredge with you, but sure, that's fine. Like, I don't know. Apparently, it sort of carries over to the next game, so take it with the caravan. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take in the dredged infant, while others are furious about bringing it along. Not long afterward, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she said, giving you a hairpin looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Persevere. The goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. Vadrun silver brooch. Yeah, you get like a magic item if you take the baby, apparently. Cool. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that Varl have gathered. Iver joins you as you approach. Oh, okay. Ubin, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in the corner of a mead house than battling a Sunder? No, I'd rather be known for not dying. Don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great Wars. Take some warriors, plow headfirst into the dredge. They follow you on into the hills, get lost, now they're not following you. When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them? Have you ever heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? Both Varl halt their debate when they suddenly notice you watching. What's this about? Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here. The warriors were just noting that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses. Bellower pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can just wander up there and throw them off our tracks. How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally be old as Varl in the land, Ubin. I'm never happy to lose more Varl, Krumr. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me. I'll leave it to you. All the rivalry you've got here, and nobody's going anywhere. Ha, that might work on either little one. I'm not asking for your blessing. In the old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which, you coming, Ingvar? You could ask Bellower for your arm back. Don't think so. I'm not exactly in the mood right now. Alright then, I'll tell the Hall their boy you said hello. Krumr and a good many Varl warriors head out toward the growing army of Dredge. Is he going to come back? He always has before. But this time feels different, I fear. Oh, I guess we're losing him now. Okay, bye. I think this game has 7 chapters, something like that. And chapter 6 is one of those longer ones with a lot of traveling. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere and quickly thickens until you are unable to see the man in front of you. You shout out a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes for the blizzard abates and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everybody is where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all the missing clansmen. Make a thorough search for lost clansmen, ask volunteers to scout the immediate area, make a bonfire and wait for missing members to return, move on, sing a blessing for the lost, commit to an hour more searching before departing. Okay, this one I'm definitely looking at. Alright, so basically if you want anyone back, it's basically this one. Make a thorough search. It takes time to establish proper search teams, but you devise a way to quickly cover as much ground as possible. After a full day of searching, you find many survivors, but your successes are dampened by a number of frozen bodies and others who have simply vanished. Disheartened, you return to travel. But you don't lose as many as you would have otherwise, so. Oh my god, stop! Gather round, doubters! Oh, Sigrholm is here! Echoes a shout in the distance as Krummer and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold the invincible Varl! The caravan is thrilled to see Krummer return safely. Did the plan work? Asked Ubin. Work? Responds Krummer. Of course it worked! Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they even find their own asses. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these, Krummer says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so Ubin can't hear. Had something to do with a raven's nest and a hair tie. Dunders Hand. Well, we got ourselves some points, so I'm happy about that.
As Sigrholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud homes sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
One catastrophe to another, says Oddleif as you pull into Sigrholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Eyvind, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in the sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? Whilst taking stock of caravan, you have inadvertently walked into a debate between Oddleif and Eyvind. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. I'm sorry, Eyvind. I think Oddleif is right. I saw a man. The whole time we were setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. And how long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Rook, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. Can we buy anything at the market? A bit. Okay, wait. Can't promote her again, actually. I do like her, so I am totally okay with that. She is maximum level now. Eva is almost maximum level too, actually. Alright, let's buy supplies with the last of our points. It's not too much, but we can get a little at least. Yeah, it's not that much. Okay. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worry doesn't begin to describe it. If she doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her... Are you sure what you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or... I don't know. You were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything's a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream. You think about what you want to say. What's it like being a mender? Being a mender? I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young that I would join the order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both menders. The guild is for lots of people now. Builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this. So we don't end up scarring people. Or scaring. I never know which is which. Scaring. Scarring is with 2 R's, right? This is probably scary. How exactly does weaving work anyway? Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them remember the shapes of... like I said, hard to explain. Honestly, that sounds like a perfect explanation. Everything is a tapestry and you just need to... If you can see it, then you can touch it and you can manipulate it. Just vast majority of people can't see it because they don't know how to do that. Makes perfect sense to me, but why is Bellower still following us? I saw grew fame as it burnt. Even gets a faraway look in his eyes. The Sunder blew through it like a tempest. The Varl fell in the thousands. Most of the Sunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to. Or heading toward Arberang. Bellower stayed in Grofheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einar Toft, I thought he must want to wipe the Varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Iver was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think this is the end times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escaped the dredge, the serpent said a darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long that will take. Or what it means, even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Menders are in Arberang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. I won't take any more time. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spent all day worrying about serpents or Sunder. I think a lot of people are intimidated, or scared maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I guess we leave then. Actually, where are we on the map? Sigrholm. A city built on a spit of land jutting from within a lake and a place of prestige to live, as expansion soon became impossible on the small island and ownership was passed down from generation to generation. The crystal clear lake water and beautiful surroundings made the land desirable to the point that a wall was eventually built to keep away jealous neighbors. Sounds absolutely amazing. Stensmarsh. Haukstorp. From atop a high hill, Haukstorp is named for the many hawks that circle past the tall pines and the loft they sit in that lets them see down into the valley toward Börsgård. The town has never had many residents, but has been steadily growing since helping to construct the high pass. Langlom Forest, Reinivik. Cool. That is Börsgård. Alright, I mean, I guess we're done here, so we leave. Rook, wait, please, Avon begs. She said she'd be here. We need her. You can tell he's terrified of leaving, as though he'd be giving up on Juno. Alright. Okay, so I'm actually checking some stuff up, and this one is a little... I'm glad I did, because this one is a little... I don't know, BS in a sense. Like, basically what happens here in Sigrholm is that you could stay here for a bazillion days, and the only thing that happens is that all your caravan dies, the dredge never come, you just sit here and die, basically. Juno never shows up. So there's no point in waiting here, because nothing happens. Like, literally nothing, apparently. So, we shall go. She's not coming. Avian looks out across the lake with a 1,000-mile stare. He says nothing. We've got problems, says Ivar. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slow going. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. What do you think? Ooh. Honestly, at this point, I'm just gonna look everything up because I'm tired of not knowing what happens and then being, like, dissatisfied and sad about my choices, like... Alright, so basically, it seems if you do this one, it will work, but it takes 2 days. If you do this one, you'll lose a bunch of supplies. Doing this one is just, like, good, I guess. It just takes a day and they help you and yada yada. This one, it takes 4 days. I'm gonna pay some locals to help. Locals become a lot more helpful when you swallow your pride and start offering food for help crossing the river. They give you small fishing boats to borrow and show you the area with the best chance of making it across. You hope your luck holds out as you launch from the shore. Despite, or you suspect because of your vigilance, the locals from Sigrholm don't try anything underhanded as they take you in their small boats to the other side of the lake over several trips. You leave them with a generous amount of food and they row back to their town. You hope it's worth it to buy some space from Bellower, who will have to drag his armies through the mud on foot. Okay, fine, you lost like a day's worth of supplies. Same thing. Morale improved! 10 renown! Woohoo! Okay, so apparently chapter 6 ends soon? I don't even know. Maybe not. Actually, here's a big forest. That looks suspicious. But we'll see what happens. Wait, where are we going, by the way? We're just going. Like... The caravan consists of more clansmen than you ever expected. Accusations of stolen chickens, missing heirlooms, and concerns over daughters' virtues are the sort of things you hear relentlessly. Even fighters complain of spreading too thin to protect everyone. Carry on and put up with it, try to address the major issues, try to keep people useful and too busy for petty squabbles, form a council to handle these problems, split the caravan. Alright, it seems like this one might be good. Firewood collection, scouting, gathering of edibles, weapons training, and wagon repair keep your clansmen busy and usually too tired to complain. The chores slow the caravan, but the resulting peace and productivity feels worth it. You get supplies! And morale! Whee! Totally worth it. As you're about to head off to sleep for the night, Onef pulls you aside. Have a couple concerns I wanted to speak to you about, he says, in private. You find a quiet place to talk. What's on your mind? How well do you know the people traveling with us? How many strangers are in the caravan now? Why is your sword out, my dude? Who are you worried about? The group decides, not just me. We have picked up quite a few. Is this about Ekkel? Who are you worried about? I've been watching folks since I joined you. Your companions from Skoger, they're loyal. I mean, it seems pretty clear that they died to protect you. I suppose I do the same. What about the Varl? You don't even know half those warriors. You're telling me they have no problem following a man's orders now? After everything that happened at Einartoft? Technically, I'm pretty sure they're following Ivar, not Rook, so I think we good here. They joined us voluntarily. I trust Ivar to handle it. If they're willing to fight, it's worth the risk. We could be more cautious. I trust Ivar to handle it. He's fearless, I'll give you that. But look at him. He's run ragged. He can't be there all the time. What happens the first time the Varl don't want to do what you tell them? I mean... Cool, I guess. If Krumer gave the word, I guarantee at least half would follow. I mean... Yeah, we're aware of this. What's your point? Let's be honest. They could take this caravan by force at any time if they wanted to. Sure. You may have a point. What do you suggest? I've got no choice but to trust them. They haven't. Oh, great. We're having a fun time here. Okay, they haven't. Doesn't mean they won't. They're not the biggest problem, though. There's a mender with us. A mender pulls lightning out the sky and tells us what to do and where to go. Myself, I think we lucked out when his mentor didn't show up in Sigrholm. Eowyn's just the apprentice. One the depths is his master capable of. Think about it, Rook. What do you really know about Eyvind? I heard they were found practically dead in the middle of nowhere where the dredge started showing up. Then an enormous serpent shows up at Einar Toft after tearing the world in half, takes one look at Eyvind and bolts. Suddenly they need your help instead of the Mender Council? How does that make any damn sense? You make some valid points. You might be distorting what happened. Eyvind could have taken control long before now. You might be distorting what happened. Or Eyvind might be. I'm grateful for what you've done to get us this far, Rook, but it's always been about trust. I think it's time to part ways, so to speak. Nothing personal. Suddenly you gasp for air. When you look down, Onef is holding a knife buried deep in your ribs. So apparently, if you take Onef with you, he will betray you at this point. But if you don't take him with you in whatever it was, chapter blah blah, then this will never happen. So that's cool. Apparently. Your vision blurs and blood fills your sight. You gasp again. There's a bird whistle and the camp becomes a blur of motion. Onef's fighters from Frostveller leap into action, cutting people down. As Oddleif turns to fire on the men, Onef runs her through and pulls the blade from her back without even breaking his stride. She drops like a sack of flour. Onef heads straight for Alette, who freezes in unbridled terror. So I thought Oddleif was like unkillable and invincible and will always survive, but apparently, I guess Onef can kill her. I don't even know. You rise to your feet through the pain. Oddleif is dead. Somehow you find the strength to cleave the nearest traitor in two, but you can't find the breath to shout. You think your lung might be punctured. Onef clutches Alette's wrist amidst the commotion, tosses her bow aside and pulls her into the deep woods. Her eyes meet yours across the campsite. No, her lips say, though you can't hear the words. A dozen men appear between you as Iver steps into view, as fearsome as you've ever seen him. Well, I can tell you one thing. If I ever get to playing game number 2, I'm gonna replay game number 1 with a walkthrough to get everything, everyone, survive, all the best choices. Then we do game 2, because I refuse to continue with like Oddleif being dead and other bullshit like that. Like, no. No. Just so you know. Yeah. So this is like a playthrough of when you don't know what's going to happen. Pretty much. I guess. Yeah, no, right now, I'm just like, I am in a sense, I'm just like so over this game. I'm just like, wow, anything I do, if you don't have a walkthrough, I just like personally feel like anything I do is wrong. Everyone just dies. Like, I get that the point of the game is to play it several times, but I'm just like, if I don't have a walkthrough, no. No. I really don't even care anymore because everything's just going to shit now. Great! No. Oh. You are a not friend. go. Woohoo! Okay, I don't know what that did, but cool. I guess. Oh, they attack the stat that is the lowest or something like that? Well. Damn, he's good at taking out armor, though. No! Damn it. Ugh, damn it. Seriously, Oddleif can die. Where's Alette? Shouts Iver, tearing through the nearest bandit, but you're already hobbling into the deep woods where they disappeared, ignoring the battle raging behind you. In a haze of pain, you start to think you've lost their tracks. Then you hear Alette screaming in the distance, followed by silence. You tear through the trees. In a small clearing, Alette lies with her back against a tree. Her hands and her clothes are covered in blood. She stares vacantly ahead, unblinking. Beside her is the body of Onef, an arrow bird in his right eye as if placed there by hand. She looks in your direction and then at Onef. I killed him, she says. Alette, are you alright? You cringe as much from the pain as the appearance of Alette after her bloody struggle with Onef. No, I'm not hurt. I had no choice. Dad, your chest! You're bleeding! Suddenly she is at your side, putting pressure on the wound. I can fix this. Where's my needle? Oddleif! Anyone! Ivar, I found them! Just as your sight goes black, you see Eyvind, Ivar, and Alette standing over you. He's going to make it? Your eyes open to the sound of Alette's voice. Normally, a wound like that... Oh, I only hope I did enough. I'll survive. Dad! Alette stops herself from hugging your bandaged chest, pulling your head to her instead. The words come out easier than you expected. Oddleif? It's a good thing Eyvind was here. She's going to pull through! Thank you! She's not dead! I thought I was like... The guide was like, she's an invincible character. And I was like, yes. Oh! Okay. I'm not as sad about this. But... Alright. She's going to pull through, though it was a nasty wound. We managed to kill most of those traitors sons of bitches, and the rest fled into the woods. There were a lot of people I couldn't save. You did everything you could, Eyvind. Nobody expects you to raise the dead. Eyvind frowns deeply, putting a hand to his forehead. Why did Onef do this, Rook? He was talking to you right before it happened. He'd been planning it all along. He thought my leadership would get us killed. I don't know. He thought my leadership would get us killed. Utter bastard. All this time we had no idea. Ekil killed a good half-dozen of Onef's men by himself. He told me Onef was running Frostveller the whole time. He left Frostveller behind when he saw a better opportunity. Guess that relationship is over. Ekil was always just a barking dog you put in the yard to find out who your enemies are. It was no accident Onef went after those of us from Skoger. He must have thought with us gone, he'd take the banner and the rest would fall in line. Or at worst, they take all the supplies for themselves and leave the rest as dredge bait. We have to be more careful. We can't just let anyone join the caravan anymore. No, nothing changes. We're not like him. Where do you draw the line, Ivar? I don't know, Rook. I really don't. None of this changes the fact that Bellower is out there somewhere, following us. That swamp around Sigrholm might buy us some time, but we've got to keep moving. Your body aches all over, but Ivar's right. The road calls. The caravan is already starting to pack up camp. Okay, so not as bad as it looked, as it seemed. We will talk to all these people in the next episode. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see ya!